Hey folks, before we begin today's video, I would like to announce that my last video's giveaway, the winner was Soy Latte. So if you're watching this video now, or if you're on my Discord, please contact me through Discord for your prize. But anyway, without further ado, let's begin. Alright, so for today's video, I will be covering 3 cards that are coming in the Age of Overlord set, eventually to Master Duel. The other cards, they're alright. One of them I didn't really get to experiment as much, but these 3 specific I have, and they are of course Pendulum Evolution, Exceeds the Pendulum, and Supreme King Gate Magician. These cards I'll be demonstrating a combo tutorial for you guys, how I use them in the current Pen Edition deck, my take on it of course, and of course I will be going over those cards specifically. But yeah, let's go over first off the Supreme King Gate Magician. Alrighty, so for Supreme King Gate Magician, what are the requirements to utilize this card effectively? Well, you're going to need a gate card, specifically Gate 0, or you have Dark Worm to search for it, of course, because Dark Worm can search for it, or if you have a Wisdom Eye that can also put it in scale. Those are some of the requirements you might want to consider adding when you're playing this specific card. The other requirement to utilize this card effectively is to have a specific target, such as Exceeds, Odd Eyes Exceeds Rebellion Dragon, to send to the graveyard to special summon as long as Gate 0 is in the graveyard. If not, then you do not have a specific target, it cannot special summon. So those are some of the requirements. Now, what are the pros of this card? Well, it is a potential rank 7 place, enabling you to go into, say, like an Absolute to a Vortex type of end board, or trying to turbo, say, like a Tomahawk, which is apparently still legal in Master Duel. So if you want to go for that route, by all means. Anyway, what else can it do? It searches any cards that mention the arc in it. So what kind of potential cards you're looking at is, of course, Pendulum Evolution, a really good extension continuous spell card that's just able to search. Otherwise, if you want to have fun, you can search for the trap card, but I really don't recommend it. But it's really up to you. But it's also an extender, and then it has many searches because of its inherent name being Supreme King Gate, and of course Magician, and that's what the cards I mentioned before, Dark Worm and Wisdom Eye, enabling themselves to search this. Of course, Joker as well, right? The only cons I would have to say is you have to play a Garnet or Gate 0 just to effectively get this thing going, but otherwise, yeah, that's really about it. So now that we know a little bit more about Supreme King Gate Magician, let's go on to the Link 3. Alright, so the new Link 3 that's coming in Age of Overlord and eventually to Master Duel is Exceeds the Pendulum. And so what are the requirements to get this card out? Well, you're going to need a Link 2 monster plus a Pendulum monster, or 3 effect monsters that includes a Pendulum monsters. So what are the pros of this card? Well, it's a very strong effect on Link Summon. You can add a Pendulum monster from the extra deck to your hand. So you can imagine recycling Astrograph again in that scenario, right? But its effect is much stronger than Celine's effect because it has less restriction to what you can do, whereas Celine is specifically towards spellcasters, and on top of requiring spell counters, whereas Exceeds only requires you to have a scale and special summon any Pendulum monster within the scale range. So for example, you have a scale of 1 to 8, you can special summon any Pendulum monsters from levels 2 to 7. And it doesn't matter as long as it doesn't have a heavy restriction on summoning condition. Otherwise, free for all for whatever you want to do with this card. It's also an extender, which is a lot better than Celine, because again, most Pendulum decks can't afford to really utilize the effect of the spell counters as much as say Endymions can. So Exceeds the Pendulum is there as another tool for other Pendulum decks to really utilize the extension effect that Celine is typically seen in most combos, as shown throughout most of my videos, right? So that's just some examples of her pros. As for cons, there's really no cons to her. She's just a free extension or disruption, however you want to build her to be. And so I could probably see a lot of people utilizing Sloth as a part of the end boards, but that's really a bit about Exceeds the Pendulum. And now let's go for the last card I would like to talk about, and then I'll show some combos. Now the last card I would like to talk about is of course Pendulum Evolution. So let's go over its requirements, and to effectively utilize this card in your deck, you do need a pen monster that has 25 or 2500 attack, which is specifically Astrograph or Supreme King Gate Magician. Those are mainly the targets you utilize it for, or if there's anything else you would like to utilize it that has that specific materials required, then by all means use that. Another requirement you do want to utilize is the extra pendulum that has, but to do that you do need an extra deck monster that is a pendulum. So off top of my head, because we have 2 level 7s and we have Electrumite, Odd Eyes Rebellion Exceeds Dragon is a good target for this card as of this recording. In the future we'll probably get better ones, but right now that's the one we're going to utilize throughout most of the combo sequences. So what are the pros of this card, you may be asking? Well, it's searchable off of Supreme King Gate Magician because it has the art in name, and so it's a free search for you to basically get your combos started. It's also of course a way to search your typical Astrograph combo that you typically see me go about, but it is only effective if you're able to destroy your scales for the Astrograph. Just keep that in mind. So if you have like say a Wisdom in scale, etc. with this card, you can return a Pendulum monster, trigger the Wisdom with another Magician in scale, and voila. But anyway, those are just some ideas to work off of. Now what are the cons of the card, right? Its last effect is really pointless and really difficult to pull off, given that, well, Komani really does not like pen boss monsters as much, especially Zark. Zark specifically is really hard to get going because of the amount of resource required to summon it on field and to really ultimately get it going. And of course its effect, if I control Zark, I can attack all monster. That's never really going to happen because when you do have Zark on field, it's just going to board wipe the opponent. So like this effect is really pointless. But in a grind game, if you have it out, yeah. Anyway, on to the second part. So it's right now is limited to the amount of face down extra deck pendulum monsters that can really utilize the effect enough where we don't go minus. Right now we're going minus by going into this, right? Because not the exceeds that we do summon, or the synchros that we summon, or the fusions that we summon that has pendulum in it is ultimately not as beneficial because they don't plus you in those plays. They just happen to just allow Pendulum Evolution to be alive afterward. But there is one neat trick that I would like to talk about if you don't know. As mentioned before, Odd Eyes Rebellion Exceeds prevents itself from exceeds changing when it is exceeds summon on into when it is exceeds summon, right? So it can't exceed into Overlord. However, utilizing this card specifically, since you're going to make Odd Eyes Rebellion Exceeds anyway, just to get this card live, you can remove the Odd Eyes Rebellion Exceeds from the field, whether you're linking it off, using it, or just somehow getting off field basically. You can repen it back out and it'll be counted towards as a pen summon, and that means you can exchange it into Overlord that turn, and then Overlord gets to attack, while also having the effect of Odd Eyes Rebellion Exceeds popping 2 cards prior to this. Well, specifically monsters with 3000 or less attack. And then you go for OTK or Zeus play from there, right? That's just some neat interaction if you didn't know about, but that's basically all 3 cards that I will be showcasing throughout these combos. But before we do any of that, I will demonstrate the old Pen Magician combos that is most likely seen throughout before these new supports, and just to give you an idea what it's like from then until now. So without further ado, let me demonstrate. So of course, as you all know, in Master Duel, SKSV is at 1, so our overall combo is very limited to what we want to end on, but it's still generally the same thing as long as you utilize, like, let's say the Perform Val package, right? So here we do have full combo here. So we're going to scale, of course, the Pensword off of the search from Joker, and then we have Butlers. We're just going to pop Pensword and then special summon it, and then we go into our only play, which is right now to make the Beyond. Rather, instead, we're going to make the Electrumite because we can definitely fix this slightly. So we're going to go Electrumite, and then with the Electrumite, we're going to search our Astral play. Astro is going to search us another copy of course Double Iris, and Electrumite is going to give us a draw. And then typically from here on out, since we did open it with an Ash and Max C, right, we're just gonna have to rely on the next search, which is of course the Beyond play. Now with Beyond, we are going to search us a low scale. So our low scale can be things like Supreme King Edition if we had it, but here we're going to search of course Oath Dragon. I want to scale the Oath Dragon. Now everything's negated at this time except for spells and traps. So now we're going to pen out 2 monsters from the extra deck. We're going to pen out the Astrograph, and then we're going to pen out the Harmonizing in hand. So now with Harmonizing, we are going to special summon a Magician from the deck. And then Chainlink 1 Harmonizing, Chainlink 2 Pensorg. Now they had an Ash, you can always try and chain block with the Beyond, but here is just, again, there's nothing, so we're just full comboing right now. So Pensorg just gonna pop 2 and add us of course the 1 Synchron and then the 1 Dissolver, and then the Harmonizing is going to special out a name. I choose this special, of course, the typical Celestial target, and this will trigger the Spellgraph because I pop Iris and Scale to add us another Magician, and we're going to add us, of course, the Wisdom to continue our combos. So now we're going to go into Time Star, sorry, and Time Star is going to, of course, search us another Dark Spellcaster. So here we're going to search another name by detaching the Harmonizing, and we're going to add, of course, Black Fang. Now we're going to scale both Black Fang and the Wisdom, and we're going to activate Wisdom's effect. This will trigger Time Star to prevent its destruction, and Wisdom's effect is not a hard once per turn search in scale. So we are going to activate to prevent its destruction, and of course going to mill us a name. Other spellcaster does not matter here because we use Pensorg's effect, so we're just going to pop Wisdom out here, and then we're going to scale once again another name. We're going to scale Iris, and then from here we are of course going to make the Selene. Now that Time Star's effect is all used up, we're just going to take this Time Star plus the Beyond instead of a Pensorg or Astrograph because those are more important later on in the combos. So now that we have Selene with 3 spell counters, we're going to of course activate the effect of Selene to special summon a spellcaster, and I'm going to special back out Celestial. Celestial's effect End Phase Search, and now we're going to make Starving Venom, or Supreme King Starving Venom, to copy the effect of Electrumite in the graveyard to pop a Scale, and then recycle of course the Astrograph. So this is your typical line, so we're going to copy and then pop of course the Black Fang to add back the Astro. Astro will once again search us another name that was destroyed, and then Black Fang will special summon a Dark Spellcaster from the graveyard. I choose to summon back the Harmonizing, and then Astro is going to summon itself back. And from this point on, we are going into of course the Cross Sheep play, so we are going to scale Dissolver, and then we are going to make the Cross Sheep. So we are going to take the Pensorg. We don't have to take the Pensorg, we can take the SKSP if you want. We're going to make the Cross Sheep with the Selene plus the Pensorg and activate Dissolver to fuse the Synchron in hand plus another monster on field, or pen monster on field rather. So we're going to pen with the Astro plus the Synchron to make of course the Vortex, which will trigger the Cross Sheep to revive back the Synchron, and now we're going to use Synchron's effect to make the Baron. We're going to go one step further because we do have Double Iris in the opposite scale. We can pop Double Iris to search us the Time Grab, but first we're going to scale the Wisdom, activate the Wisdom to search us the Poison, and now we're going to scale Poison, and then this will act, and I'm going to activate Baron, the Baron to pop Double Iris to search the Time Grab, and now you make Appaloosa, and that is a pretty standard end board you're going to utilize, or rather end on with in this deck. And of course you have Ash and Max C as follow-up hand traps if anything, if they try to break board, and they have to respond to those as well. So yeah, anyway, now that you get the idea of what the old Pen edition is like, let's go over the newer strats. Alrighty, so this hand may not look like full combo, but it is full combo, and you do not need a Turbo, Beyond, or Electrumite with the effect of the Supreme King Gate in hand. But what we are going to do is scale both Wisdom and Black Fang, activate Wisdom to scale of course the Supreme King Gate Magician, and we're going to activate the Supreme King Gate Magician to pop itself to scale the Gate 0. And now we have 2/7, so we are at this point we're just going to pen from here. There's no need to make Beyond or Electrumite at this time, or this early in the combo right now, because we do have ways to get to them later on anyway. So we're gonna pen here, we just pen everything that we have, the Black Fang and the 2 Supreme King Gate Magicians. Now with all that on field, we are going to activate the Supreme King Gate Magician to add us of course the Pendulum Evolution. And with that, we are going right into our Electrumite play. So we're going to Electrumite Astro, the typical stuff that you commonly see me and other Pendulum players do in a situation like this. So with Electrumite, we are popping the Black Fang to add us to Astrograph, and Astrograph is going to search us to Wisdom, and Electrumite is going to draw us a card. And because there's nothing in the graveyard for Black Fang to target, Black Fang will not activate. Now that we have 2 7s on field and we drew a Duelist off Electron, we are of course going to activate the Duelist just to give ourselves another free search, even though we don't really need it, but it's just more searching. So at this point with Duelist lines, we are going to search the Pensorg. Now that I have 2 7s, we are going to make the Rebellion. This will enable, of course, Pendulum Evolution to be live. That means we are allowed to, once again, Pendulum Summon, not just from the extra deck, but also from the hand. That's why it's such a powerful card for continuing your board if you were not able to make the board you wanted prior. But with this, we are of course going to make Beyond. So by taking both the Rebellion and the Electrumite, we are making Beyond, and Beyond is going to search us another card. We are going to search Harmonizing because we did not activate the effect of Harmonizing. And with that, we have to force Pen here. So with the effect of Pendulum Evolution, we are going to Pen one more time. And with this, we basically rebuild our entire board to finally build the board we needed. So with that, we have Pensorg, we have Harmonizing, and of course the Black Fangs from the extra deck. Really cool, right? So with that, we're going to chain link 1, the Harmonize, and chain link 2, the Pensorg, and we're going to pop the Gate 0 plus the Black Fang on field. Now, because we didn't use the effect of Supreme King Gate Magician to special summon, and we no longer have Gate 0 in the scale, we can no longer special summon it. Just keep that in mind. But with this, Harmonizing is going to special us the Celestial, and now we're going to activate Black Fang to revive back the Astro that we use as material for the Rebellion. That way we can recycle the Astrograph later into the combo. So from here on out, we are going to make the Time Star. So by taking both the Celestial and the Black Fang, we have Time Star, and Time Star by detaching a material, we are going to add, of course, a Dark Spellcaster. Now, we have not normal summoned just yet, so we are going to add, of course, the Joker. With Joker in hand, we are going to normal summon it to once again search us a name. Now, given what we have in hand, we do not have a Magician. So with that in mind, we need a Magician to continue the comboing. So we have to search any of these Magician. You can search a second Wisdom Eye, but generally I like to hold on to that for later and search maybe like a Black Fang or a Double Iris. But here I decided to go for the Supreme King Gate Magician search. And with that, we're going to scale Supreme King Gate Magician again. In scale, its effect is a hard once per turn when we have 1 Gate 0. But now we have the effect of Wisdom Eye. But we're going to negate its destruction off Time Star by milling the tuning. And now we can activate it again if we wanted to. But first, we are going to take both the Astrograph and the Joker to make, of course, the Starving Venom Supreme King. And then we're going to activate Wisdom, and Wisdom is going to pop itself to scale a Black Fang. With that, we can activate the effect of the Supreme King Starting Venom to copy the Electrumite. Now we can pop the Black Fang whenever we want in this combo sequence. And since we already used Time Star's effect, we can always link it off for, say, a Selene. So of course, we are going to take the Beyond plus the Time Star to make Selene. And Selene will have 3, or rather 4 spell counters in this scenario. And now that I have 2 open slots, we can pop the Black Fang to add back the Astrograph that we recycled off of the first Black Fang, and special summon itself plus the Black Fang effect to special summon another of the Dark Spellcaster from the graveyard. Here we choose to special summon the Celestial because we do have the Chaos Ruler package. So Astrograph is going to special summon, add us another name. We're going to add back the Wisdom that was destroyed, and now we're going to special back out the Celestial that was, of course, sent there. So Celestial's effect and phase search was already used, and we're going to take both the Harmonizing plus Celestial to make the Chaos Ruler. Chaos Ruler is going to excavate the top 5 cards, mill 4, add 1 light or dark. So we have Double Iris, Butler, Ash, Tactics, Maxi. So of course just going to mill everything, add us the Iris. And now we have Butler for follow-up if we need to, but we really don't need to in this situation. But we're going to activate Selene before we do anything else, and Selene is going to revive back the tuning that we milled off of Time Star. This will of course give us our first disruption, which is Hot Red Archfiend Dragon, which is an Omni negate, and it also outs Dark Ruler if you have Time Graph sets, which we do have here. So we do have means to answer to Dark Ruler if the opponent does have Dark Ruler. Now we're going into our Krashi play, Odd Eye stuff. So we're going to scale the Dissolver, of course. And then with Dissolver in scale, we are going to make a cross shape. So by taking a non-pendulum and a link, we're going to make cross shape. We do need pendulum monsters because we need targets for exceeds the pendulum because it requires that, but here I decided to go with a pen sword target, which is totally fine because I still have means to access more pendulum names later in this combo. So what we're going to do is take Dissolver with the Synchron in hand plus the Astrograph. We are making the Vortex. This will trigger the cross shape to special summon from the graveyard. A 4 or lower monster, we choose of course special summon back out the Synchron. Now with Synchron on field, we're going to activate the effect of Synchron to give us our third disruption, which is the Baron play. Now with that in mind, we can easily end on Hope, Vortex, Baron, Hot Red if we wanted to. But we are going to end on one more negate, so we're going to scale the Wisdom one more time, not a negate's activation of course. And then we are going to activate the effect of Wisdom to scale a name. Now in this situation it's a little awkward because we went through a lot, so we're going to just scale the Oath Dragon here, and we're going to recycle back another name. So Oath Dragon's effect to recycle, I believe I chose to add back the Wisdom. Actually no, I decided to add back the Black Flame because that was a better play here, because I remember I said I needed a pen monster to go into the Exceeds play, so I'm going to add of course the Black Flame. Now with that in mind, we are going to utilize the fact of Baron to free our scales. The Baron is going to pop the Supreme King Gate Magician, allowing us to scale the Black Fang, which will trigger one of the effects in the gate. So I activate the effect of Vortex to negate its activation, destroying it and re-triggering it again, allowing it to special summon a Dark Spellcaster from the graveyard. So I'm going to activate the effect of Black Fang one more time to revive back a Dark Pendulum because we need it for the Exceeds play. So it doesn't matter in this situation as long as it's a Pendulum. So Black Fang is back on field, and now we're going to scale the Iris, and we're going to activate, we're going to link off both the Black Fang plus the Cross Shape to make us Exceeds the Pendulum. Exceeds effect will re-add from the extra deck a Pendulum monster, so we're going to add back of course the Astrograph. And now what we're going to do here is activate the effect of Exceeds to special summon any pen monster from at this point 3 to 7. So we're going to summon out the Astrograph from our hand, make the Appaloosa, and then from here activate the effect of Tuning to revive itself from the graveyard to make our final disruption, which is Borreload Savage Dragon. And now we have basically 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 disruptions here that they have to play through, plus a Dark World protection if they open with Dark World. But that's basically like the future of this combo deck. If you're interested in learning it, this is my take on it. Of course, there's obviously another version out there which is utilizing more of the Supreme King engine. What I wanted to do was utilize the current old engine and see how well it can handle with the newer support, and honestly it does its job pretty well. But yeah, that's really about it. If you want me to showcase one with Zark just for fun, I will showcase it. Just let me know down in the comments below. But otherwise, was just one sample idea. I still need to wait for the cards to release to really get a feel for how it's going to impact the meta, because it is doing pretty well on the OCG side of things, but that's mainly utilizing the Supreme King side rather than a full magician combo as you're seeing here. But anyway, that's really it. If you have any questions, again, just let me know. And Soy Latte, please contact me on Discord so I can get your prize, so I can give you the prize, etc., etc. But yeah, take care everybody.